This episode of Hawk Talk is brought to you by Charbonneau Car Center and Dacotah Bank.
Hi, and welcome back to this week's edition of Hawk Talk. I'm Colter Hickok.
I'm Hillary Moberg.
And we've kind of got a frequent flyer on. I mean, you've been on, what, now, twice?
Seth Moorkirky had me on like
so now three times.
8, 9, 20 times. But I haven't been on for a year.
So
went through the bad year of 2020.
So
no Hawk Talk appearances.
I mean, welcome back, Coach. I mean, we got Coach Shayne Wittkopp, but please, I want you to introduce yourself, who you are, where you're from, and what do you do here at DSU?
All right. Well, my name is Shayne Wittkopp. I'm the head track and field and cross country coach here. I teach in the exercise science department as well. I'm an alum, so I was a freshman in 2002 and graduated, moved on. 10 years later, found myself my way back to DSU. That was 5 years ago now, so yeah.
Well, Coach, we're happy to have you on for as many times as you've been on Hawk Talk. It's always a great time to have you on.
Okay.
So talk about the season so far. Like, how many races have you guys ran, and how have you guys done in those races?
Okay, so we're still fairly early on in the season.
Right.
So we had one meet. We did the Dragon Twilight in Moorhead, Minnesota. So that's a night meet. It's kind of a cool, fun experience. It's a little bit shorter race than we typically run. It's run at night, which is, I mean, it's a pretty cool experience. So the team ran fantastic. So if you follow the NAI cross country page pretty, closely, they just come out with their conference by conference ratings for the national raters, and they actually rated our men's and women's teams based on that performance, actually top of the conference. So Dacotah State has done pretty well in the past. Viterbo is returning women's champions, and the men, Dacotah State won last year, and we're ranked ahead of both of them. Dacotah State's actually ranked third, and Bellevue has got a decent squad this year, so it looks like they're going to be a big challenge. I still think that Dacotah State's men are going to be pretty good when it comes down to it. We're still early in the year, but that performance was the best performance as assessed by the national raters in the conference. So we got a bunch of freshmen. I think in our top 5, 4 of them were freshmen and 1 of them sophomore. So super young team this year. Some really talented young kids. On the women's side, kind of the same thing. We had 1 junior run in the top 5, 2 freshmen and 2 sophomores, so a pretty young squad as well. But they ran well. We still, women's side, we still got a few injuries that we're trying to deal with right now at this point in the year, but we're a long ways from November. So on the one hand, it was a great start. On the other hand, November's a long ways away. So
right. We
can't get too proud of ourselves at this point. We got a lot of work to do.
Perfect.
Thank you so much for sharing. That's a very good update for us. And we've heard some talk about the 5K happening on Friday. So we were wondering if you had some information you could share to let us know more about what that is.
Okay, so Dickenson Running Club was started by a couple of cross-country alum here in town. J.C. Wilson and Hunter Flynn decided that they were done running, but they weren't done running.
Both Hawk Talk alums.
Both Hawk Talk, alums. So they are friends of the show.
Yes, they are.
They decided to start a running club. It kind of started with an Instagram account and kind of put feelers out for people. And they've done a good job of just trying to establish a little bit of a running community in town. And Hunter approached me and said, "Hey, Coach, what do you think about us running a 5K at the cross country meet?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm fine with it." Hosting meets is not fun for the coach, but once the stuff's set up, it's really not that bad. So I said, "Hunter, if you want to host a meet," I did tell him it is on Friday during the day. It's not the easiest time for a bunch of people to get out, but he said, "Hey, Coach, I really want to do this." So I said, "All right, then let's get it set up with the race company," and they kind of did that. And Hunter took care of. I set him up, and he took care of that stuff, getting it all lined out. And it looks like we're going to have 20, 30 people. So the Fun Run 5K is probably going to be about as big as any one of the individual races that we're going to be running with the teams. So just fun experience. They're doing it to raise money for the cross country team, so they wanted to do that, give back that way, which is kind of cool. And it's a fun experience for the members of that running club. So that's the deal with that. That's going to happen after the men's race.
Awesome.
Good.
So I know that it's been a long time since we have had this home meet. I mean, at the golf course. How long has it actually been?
Well, 2020 changed a lot of things.
Right.
And it's only been since last year, but before that it had been probably 10 or 12 years since we had hosted a meet that wasn't the conference meet. So in 2016, we had hosted the conference cross-country meet. We hosted it out there. We hadn't done anything until 2020. So it had been 4 years since we'd hosted a meet at all, but an invitational like we're hosting this weekend, it had probably been 5 more years. So it had probably been 10 years since we had hosted a meet. So it's kind of tricky you got to figure out where you're going to put it in the schedule. And same thing with track, talking to all the other coaches and trying to figure out where they're going to go just from a geographical standpoint. And there's positives and negatives about this weekend. The positive is the closest meets are Minnesota.
Right.
Minneapolis, the Roy Griak is this weekend, and then University of Montana has got a meet as well. They're both 8 hours away from us. But the closer the other people get to those meets, the less likely they are going to come to ours. So we do have 5 teams coming this year. So it's not the biggest meet in the world, but it will be a good test for us. You know, we'll get to run against Valley City and Jamestown again, that are NAI schools, and they're Dawson, Oak Christian, and Trinity Bible, and the Tribal College will bring some kids down as well to run. So it'll be an opportunity for us to get out on the course and get another race in and be able to compete against some of the home fans. So that's always fun too, as well for the kids.
So I mean, you just talked about the home fans. I mean, is it super important that the cross-country runners have like that actual support from the home crowd just to kind of keep them going? I know their brains are broken, so they're already kind of just trying to pace through, but is that super important with the crowd involvement?
So, you know, cross country is not just run a 5K or run an 8K. It's run until you're right at that cusp where I don't think I can do this any longer. So you basically run until you've got a side ache, and then you just kind of keep powering through. So definitely, at some point, those kids are going to be suffering in that race, and someone's going to go and yell at them that someone's catching them, or they can pass someone if they do X, Y, or Z, and that'll make a difference. It always does, because they've got alarm bells going off in their brain telling them, why don't you just slow down and kind of take it easy here for this next half a mile? But that's not how you win, right? When you say their brains are broken, they're definitely ignoring some of the things that other people won't. So absolutely, it makes a big difference for them to have fans. And I've already talked to some of the people that I know that are going to be there and trying to strategically place them, because the truth is, around the finish line, there's all kinds of hype going around the finish line. And around the start line, there's all kinds of hype going on. There's lonely parts of the track or the course where it's not exactly a track where it's a 400-meter oval. It's you've got some lonely parts of the track. So trying to get people out there. But if you'd ever been to a cross-country meet, I burned over 800 calories at the last race, because I usually are going to put in about 5 miles myself, running from mile post to mile marker to give them their splits and stuff like that. So if you really get into it, it's a fun experience as a fan if you are running and trying to cheer and see where people are at.
Well, I'll be for sure there on Friday.
Yes, I will be too.
I know at Student Senate we were going to try and have everybody on the Student Senate be there to support all the cross country, because you guys are there to support a lot of things that we do.
Yeah. And we have Haley Oberlander on Student Senate too, so gotta support her. Awesome. Yeah, I think it'll be really fun for students to be able to go to something like that, since we haven't really had that opportunity in a while. But you've talked earlier about how you got your 5-year pin for DSU. So what has been like some of your favorite moments in working at DSU in these past 5 years?
Favorite moments? Probably, it's hard to pick one moment. Probably from a coaching standpoint, we had the first year that I coached cross country, the men's race. It was a really kind of a storybook ending. So it was 2017. We were in Jamestown, and we had started out kind of a rough start to the year. Be honest with the coaching change, I'm not sure if any of those boys did much summer running, to be honest with you. Not to say they didn't do any, but they didn't do enough, I can tell you that, because it was a rough start to the season. First 2 meets kind of struggled. Third meet we came out, and Valley City had been just kind of beating us up all year long, and they looked like they were going to be the team to beat that year. And we'd gone to Griac that year, and they had beat us by, I don't know, 15, 20 spots. I mean, it was pretty bad, because that's a meet with probably 200 teams in the race, right? So we got handled by them. And then we went to Jamestown, and we'd lost to them by, I think, 3 points or 4 points. So it got real close, real fast. Then we went to Mount Marty. We won that race by 3-4 points. And so we roll into conference knowing that we're talented enough to beat those guys on any given day. But we didn't know what was going to happen. We knew they were talented enough to beat us. They'd beaten us in 3 meets that year. Or 2 times that we had seen them. We'd seen them the previous 2 times. So we go into Jamestown, and we woke up that morning, and it was about 28 degrees and snowing. And the boys were ready to go. It was pretty awesome. Valley City had a lot of junior college transfers at that point in time in their program, and their fastest runner was from Riverside, California, and that young man was not excited about the snow that day. And our boys were out there, no undershirts, right? No gloves. They were out there to wreck somebody's day. And we ran 8 guys that day, and 7 of them lifetime PR'd, and we ended up beating them by about 40 points. And that was one of probably the best, because people don't understand about cross country. You're only as strong as your 5th runner. You score the top 5 runners, and if you have a 5th runner that can't run, they'll drag the whole. They can be 100 spots behind the next guy, and basically it's like golf. Lowest score wins. If you win, you score 1. Get second, you get 2. So we beat them pretty handedly, in a pretty small race. I think the actual score, I think we beat them by about 27, which is pretty big. There's only going to be about 40, 50 runners at the conference meet, and to beat them by that many points in that small of a race, it was just, when we started the race, I had no idea what was going to happen. I knew that we were talented, and they just rose to the occasion and ran for each other, which was pretty awesome to see. So that's probably, from a coaching standpoint, that's pretty fantastic. We've had some kids in track All-American, and just kind of surprised the heck out of me. Alyssa Wisher a couple years ago had just started to come along in the javelin, and then just bombed at the national meet and had placed 3rd. It was cool to see Paxton Miller last year in his kind of last hurrah on track and field after everything that went on last year with playing football in the spring and trying to get all that stuff figured. He All-American, which was pretty darn cool as well. So we've had school records set. That's always awesome. For me, I think probably my favorite thing is anytime some kid that I'm coaching goes out there and surprises themselves of how well that they do. That's always awesome to see someone just, completely blow their own expectations out of the water. That's, kind of what I live for. And that day back in 2017, I think that was one, just collectively, I'd never seen that many people in a collective effort do that much better than they'd ever done in their life. That was pretty cool.
Well, I'm good friends with Hunter Flynn, and I've heard that story from his perspective and just waking up, running in the hawk weather. But it was really cool to hear your perspective on that story.
Yeah, there's a canvas of the start of that race in my office. It was a really cool. The women had a fantastic day. They just obliterated everybody, but we knew that was going to happen, and that was one of the most talented. That women's team is probably the most talented team that I've coached, and they were all baby freshmen, and sophomores as well. That was when J.C. Wilson and Bailey Smith and Lisa Townsend, they were all super, super young. And we didn't know that they were going to be as good as they were. Amanda Wolf had, win the conference champion the next year. Then she decided to get married and not come back to school. So we had no idea exactly what was going to happen. But that group, we knew early that we had something special. On the men's side, it's just kind of slow grind where we just kept getting better and better and better. And we knew we had a good challenger, but we also knew that we had a lot of talent on that team. And Tristan Guillot and Chris Moreno and Rodney, Hot Rod, Rodney, Henry, super. He had a great performance as well. He really came on as a leader. He's a transfer from a junior college in Kansas. It just really kind of became part of the family. Trey Smolik as well. I mean, we ran pretty darn fantastic 1 through 8 that day.
Well, it sounds like a storybook end.
Yeah.
Well, Coach, thank you very much for coming on. I've only written down 4 questions, but you had made this like we had written a full script. So thank you very much for coming on. It's been a lot of fun.
I got one superpower. Turning a 5-minute conversation into a 20-minute conversation. So that's
Where can people find
Good superpower for us. Yeah.
Where can people find the cross country on social media?
So we've got, I think Blue Hawk Track and Field is our Twitter account. We've also got an Instagram account as well. The Twitter account, I will post pictures and stuff in there. That's a lot of information stuff. And the Instagram account, we've got a lot of pictures. Every time a kid signs or anything like that, we'll post things on there. So the Twitter account's more for Twitter folks that like to read things in 160 characters or less, and the Instagram folks are for people that like to take pictures and stuff like that. So we try and get some stuff out there. We've got some pictures from the first meet up as well. So yeah, that's probably the best way, to get a hold of information from us.
Perfect. Coach, thank you very much for coming on. It's been a lot of fun.
All right, thanks a lot, guys.
Yeah, thank you.
Kira Schneider will be next with an on-campus interview right after this.
Hello Hawk fans and welcome to Hawk Talk. My name is Kira Schneider and I am your co-host. Today with me I have Jory Boote and Kelly Bang. Do you guys want to introduce yourselves and what you do here at DSU?
I'm Jory Boote. I'm from Binford, North Dakota. I'm a sophomore at Dickenson State University. I'm a computer technology management major and I rodeo as well.
Hi, I'm Kelly Bang. I'm originally from Kilden, North Dakota, and I am a business administration degree. I'm a freshman at DSU, and I'm also a part of the rodeo team.
Awesome. Thank you guys both for being here so much. We're super excited to have you on. Awesome. So like you guys said, you're on rodeo. I know the last 2 weekends you guys have traveled pretty far, correct?
Yes.
You're in Wisconsin and then you were in
Nebraska.
That's awesome. And you guys, your team has had super successful times. I know that men's team, you guys took 4th in Wisconsin.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yep. Third?
I don't know.
Oh, my bad. Well, congratulations on that. And then our women's team, we took 1st, right?
Yes.
Awesome. And then there was day 1 and day 2 in North Platte, Nebraska. They were just in. Did I say that correctly?
Yep.
Yes.
Cool. And men, we took 2nd, day 1.
Yep, 2nd day 1, I think 3rd, day 2.
Yep, that's
Yeah, 3rd, I think, yep.
it's great. And then our women, we took.
I took.
Oh, that's. So our women's team took 4th place day 1, and we took 1st day 2.
Okay, yeah.
So that's awesome. Perfect. Well, congratulations on those wins, guys. That's super awesome. Hard work pays off. So right now we're just going to go into a little bit of an interview. So first things first, actually, let's have some stats. You are a freshman here at Dickenson State, correct?
Yes.
First year competing collegiate rodeo.
Yep.
And you're kind of bossing it out, as it sounds.
I mean, yes. You can
Staying
say
humble,
that.
but yes.
Yes.
So I know that the last 2 rodeos that you've won all around in both of them.
Yes.
First place?
Well, this last weekend I got 2nd, but the 2nd rodeo I took 1st, yes.
Wow, that's awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And same with you, you're bossing it out as well, and you're a sophomore here at DSU?
Yep.
Congratulations on that. You want to
Thank
talk
you.
a little bit about those wins?
Yeah, North Platte. North Platte, I won the honor on the first day. It was an hour between two rodeos. Second rodeo didn't go as well, but first one went well, and Wisconsin went pretty well, and the team are open, so we're pretty happy about that.
Awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Well, you guys are great. So we'll go into the interviews. So first things first, how old were you guys when you started riding?
Oh, I'd say since I could walk, I don't know exactly an age, but I'd say as long as I can remember, for sure.
Wow.
I would say I probably started riding horse when I was 3. I probably started shodeoing when I was 4. So
Wow.
pretty much as long, when I could walk.
That's really impressive. I know that there are some grown adults that have never even been near a horse. Nonetheless, they're terrified to ride one. So that's pretty cool, both of you. And you mentioned shodeos.
Yes.
So you competed shodeos when you were little?
Yes.
You competed as well?
Yeah. Yep.
So a question I have for both of you, did you ever ride a calf, a sheep, a goat?
I rode many sheep. I'm guessing Jory did too. But one of my highlights I can always remember is winning a calf riding buckle against all the boys. So.
Against all the boys?
Yes.
Yeah, you did. How about you?
Yeah, no, I've rode, obviously, when I was younger, rode quite a few sheep and calves, a couple steers, but my riding days of those rough stock kind of ended there.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Kind of decided to end that career
Yeah.
before it started?
Yeah.
Well, awesome. So if there's one thing that you guys would like people to know about rodeo or rodeo culture, what would it be?
I'd say that rodeo is a big family sport. You know, college rodeo especially, it's a big team sport. We're all pretty close, but just rodeo in general, it's everybody kind of cheers for each other. Yeah, it's a very cool sport.
Yeah, I was gonna say that people nowadays there's been a bunch of videos on Facebook and people have been saying rodeo's been the only sport that everyone's been standing for the national anthem and everyone's been just respectful.
So would you say rodeo definitely has that patriotic culture?
Yes, for sure.
Oh yeah.
That's awesome. Definitely refreshing, I think, too.
Yes.
Yep.
So you guys, like we talked about earlier, you both had a lot of success this year. When it comes to that success, obviously there's some downfalls also. How do you guys cope with that? What are things that keep you going?
Oh yeah, like you said, everybody has slumps at one time in their career. Fortunately, both right now we're winning. It's been pretty good, but at times, I mean, anytime it can go bad, and just trying to get out of it, just staying out of your head, just don't fight your head, keep working at it, and just go on to the next one. Forget about it.
Yeah, definitely thinking positive and just thinking of how it feels to be successful, and just when you get down, just keep working up.
Awesome.
Working hard.
Awesome. So you guys are competing in Iowa this weekend?
Yeah.
What can we expect as far as that? Some dubs coming out again, you two?
Hope so.
I hope so.
Awesome.
Yeah, hopefully personally, and
That's the
hopefully
goal.
our team. Hopefully all around Dickenson has a good weekend.
Yeah, it seems like you guys have been killing it. Our entire team has been absolutely being awesome. So another thing I thought was kind of interesting, all three of us have something in common. We all have an older sibling that has played a collegiate sport, and we've kind of followed in their footsteps nonetheless. What's that experience been like for both of you?
I mean, it's been pretty awesome having my sister here and having some of our closest friends, Jory and Jade, here. It's been just super fun and exciting to be a part of it.
Yeah, no, I'd say it's been awesome. Obviously, Jade's a senior here, super senior. She was a senior last year. No, it's been cool. You know, she knows everything there is to know. Basically, she's our regional director, so she's got all the connections. It's been cool. Yeah.
Yeah, it's been nice having Jade and Carly as our older sisters because they know mostly everything and I'm kind of new, so it's been awesome.
Definitely awesome to have somebody on your side, I'm sure.
Yes.
For sure.
Yep. And then your sister is a senior this year as well?
She's a junior.
She's a junior?
Yep.
Oh, so you get another year.
Yep.
That's pretty cool. Are you going to be sad to see your sister go?
Some things.
Something.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's cool. I get that too. It's a blessing to have them.
For sure.
Super fun. So one last question I have for each of you. What does Dickinson State University mean to you?
Well, I guess it just means like family for me because most of my family I can name a bunch of people that have been to Dickenson State before me, so
Yeah.
I don't know. It just means family, I guess, to me.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, no, I'd say kind of the same thing. My mom went here, obviously my sister, but really the whole school kind of seems like a big family. Not a very big school. Everybody kind of knows everybody. All the teachers really get to know their students really well. It's pretty cool. It's awesome to be a part of.
Awesome. Well, thank you both for coming and letting me interview today. And good luck this weekend. And Hawks are up.
Thanks to Kiera for that on-campus interview. But we had a lot of things happen this last weekend, and let's going to start with volleyball. So volleyball, they just had the JV volleyball team. They went down to Miles City. Unfortunately, they lost in 3. Kind of sucks. But they're going to be coming back strong this week against Viterbo on Friday. They're ranked number 3 in the nation. I really hope that the ladies can pull that one out. And on Saturday, they're going to play Waldorf. So we're going to have a lot of conference play here in volleyball, starting to get into that. So that's awesome for them.
Yep, that'll be good to watch. With golf, both the men's and the women's team were in Rapid City. The women ended up finishing 6 out of 9, and the men finished 8 out of 10. And then both teams will be at the Waldorf Invite coming up this weekend. So it'll be good to see what happens there too.
Perfect. Then we talked with Coach Wittkopp, talking about cross country. I was talking with the cross country kids actually this morning at the rec center when they were doing their swim workouts, and they are super excited because they have the home meet coming up this Friday. And if you are in town and want to support your Blue Hawk cross country team, that's going to be at the Hart River Golf Course. So make sure that you're there. Make sure that you're there to support your cross country team.
With softball, we were in Miles City over the weekend. We played 2 games, a doubleheader. The first game got cut short early due to an injury on the umpire, but it was a tied game 5-5. And then our second game, we got rained out, but we were up 15-7. So very good practice for us to kind of see what we were doing. I think pretty much everyone got some playing time, which was really cool to see, and a couple first-time college home runs. So that was pretty cool. Next, we will be having a home scrimmage coming up against Dacotah College at Botno. So we're looking forward to that. Then baseball this weekend had some preseason games here at home against Jamestown. They split on Friday and Saturday, but the games were really great to watch, pretty close for their first game that they ended up losing Friday, but then they came back and they got back at Jamestown. So they will be next in Valley City to play against the Vikings. So good things happening in that front.
Absolutely. I'm really happy that we're getting these preseason games right now. I feel like it's going to be really great for them to get these practice in, but then we're going to be having a little bit of a wait to get back into it in the spring. So I'm very excited to go back to baseball games and softball games.
Yes.
Then we got football. So finally got the W under their belt. The Hawks are now 1-2 in conference. We're still not receiving votes after this win, which kind of sucks. And I really don't like the NAIA. Have I ever told you that? I don't like the North Star and I don't like the NAIA, but what more can you do? But we got Drew Bodecker was named the offensive MVP for the North Star this week, so congrats to him. The Hawks got the W against Mayville, 51-13. Wow. I mean, finally, it's a big motivational booster for the Blue Hawks, so I'm happy that I was there to witness that. And this week we got a bye, so got the bye week, going to get some practice in, going to get some lifts, but then next week we're going to come back and play presentation at home. Then we're going to have Blue Hawk game day. It's going to be a lot of good time. Make sure you watch on Consolidated Channel 18 for that. Rodeo was in North Platte, Nebraska. I'm not entirely sure on the team scores because those weren't on the DSU Blue Hawk site, but maybe you can find out a better answer. I know Kia Munson, she is writing articles that can go correspond with the DSU Blue Hawk site. So make sure you check out those. Shout out to Kia Munson. And then we got Jason Watson. Jason Watson has been putting out these Schedule Your Week with the Hawks, and they are all your information that if you just want to go to a game, maybe if you just want to watch on Consolidated, make sure you check out Schedule Your Week with the Hawks.
Thank you to Jason for all his hard work that he puts in on scheduling that for us. It's a very cool tool we're able to use now. So
just a real stand-up guy. That's what I got to say about Watson. I know he'll probably watch this later, so thanks, Watson. Thank you to all our sponsors. We have Dacotah Bank, we have Charbonneau Car Center, along with the DSU Heritage Foundation. You can follow us on our social medias at DSU Heritage Fund on Twitter and on Instagram at DSU Foundation. Thank you to Trace and Ron for always making us look good. Without you, I think I would look pretty bad.
I think I look pretty good either way.
So thanks Trace and Ron for always making me look somewhat decent. Then we got to thank you to all the fans. Without you, this show would not happen. So thank you very much. But catch us back next week. But until then,
Hawks are up.